Hello, welcome back. Good Sunday to you. KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts, and I've had to move my activities from HF and VHF outdoors due to the lightning to something indoors in the shack, a little more safer. So let's talk about something that I picked up at Dayton Hamvention 2019 that I still haven't made a video on. Let's go back into the HamRadioConcepts archive and talk about something that you may have seen on my videos, but if you haven't, I'll try to cover it in this video and you can go back and watch those for future ideas. Now this is a Mobilinkd TNC. This is a Mobilinkd Bluetooth TNC, and when this originally came out, let's go back. We had the TNC1, which was the actual board, and the battery that was heat shrink together, and you kind of did what you want with it. Velcro it to your radio or hide it inside the radio or whatever. Then they came out with the version 2. So the version 2 had an option for a 3D printed case. Then they excelled that to it comes with the case. And then you fast forward a couple years and you get something at the Dayton Hamvention that actually has a bag with their product on it. And it actually looks like a professional product in its own little packaging. Introducing the Mobilinkd TNC3. Now I met the people there finally, and they had a booth at Dayton, and I saw this. I said, well, I have to pick this up because I only have the 2. I got rid of the one a while ago, and I have only the 2. So what's different about this, or have you never seen this before? Let's talk about it. So the Bluetooth TNC idea by Mobilinkd is APRS on a budget, okay? Imagine you have this radio here. This is a FT2DR. This is a, what, now it's down to $289 or $299. But when it came out, it was well over $300. And even the old Kenwoods that do APRS are a couple $100 used. APRS, I've had videos exclusively on that on my channel. You could look if you're new to the hobby and you don't know what automatic packet reporting system is, you need to check it out. This is something that ham radio should be inundated with, and people have seemed to have forgotten about it because there's only a couple manufacturers that still make APRS in their radios, which Yaesu and Kenwood, I applaud them for still doing that. But also, a lot of people say, I don't want to justify spending that much money for that extra feature. Well, check it out. So a Bluetooth TNC like this enables you to connect to your device, iPhone, Android, tablet, computer, over Bluetooth, and connect this to any radio, even a Bofeng or a Ushan or a Quansheng or a Yaesu or a Kenwood or a DMO. I guess you can connect it to this handheld. These are really the only 2 handhelds I have left. I need to get an Icon, but a lot of things to spend money on. Connect it to a radio like this and get yourself APRS functionality with something even like a tablet, so you can see the APRS on something like this, okay? And also do WinLink and messaging, emailing over 2 meters and UHF 70 centimeters. Let me go in depth in case you haven't known this. So in the past, let's talk about, this is the 3 here, the 2 and the 1 only did Android, and that was a big deal breaker for a lot of people. They said, well, I want this thing to be able to be configured over iOS. Well, congratulations, the TNC3 will work with Apple. Let's open this up and we'll talk about this device here. Okay, you get, here's a sticker, Mobilinkd sticker. A thank you for purchasing card, again, much more than what you got originally from the TNC1. And inside this card gives you the QR codes that you can scan with your phone or tablet to download the appropriate config app and to get to the manual. It does not come with a manual. They did that to reduce the costs, okay, which is a good idea. Who reads a paper manual anymore, right? Save a few bucks, go online. So if you look at this itself compared to the 2, they look identical, okay? They actually have the same case. The difference I found was the TNC3 actually has an FCC ID sticker on the back, and it looks more professional. This was an optional case. This is how it comes now. Okay, so the case looks the same, but there's differences and improvements from the 2 versus the 3. Primarily a couple things. One, the iOS for Apple edition. Also, there's a lot of different handhelds out there. There's a lot of different audio levels and configurations from a Yaesu to a Bofeng to a whatever. So they've tailored this device to work with much many more handhelds so that it works with almost anything. In the past, it was tricky to get it working with one and not the other. But they both have the battery built in. There's a board in here, and they both have the LED lights. So the battery in these lasts quite a long time. I can't tell you, you gotta see, I'll confuse these if I don't look at them right. I can't tell you the last time I charged this too. I had to take this out of my Go kit for this video. But you can see it's still got charge on it, okay? This one does come charged, but probably about halfway is normal, so go ahead and charge this before you even use it. So back to the device here itself. A graphical way of displaying APRS. You may say, well, this right here has APRS built in. Why would I spend the extra money? Well, we're assuming that you don't have a radio like this, but I'm going to be using it with this FT2DR. Because to do APRS on here, yeah, you can see the coordinates of the other station. You can see it in a list. You can see you type messages through APRS, but wouldn't it be a lot easier to do it on your busted iPhone like this? I mean, look, go ahead and check out that screen, huh? Where's it at? Yeah, look at that. That's a drop there. That's some spider crack there. Imagine doing APRS and mapping on this, or even, I got my R Finder over here for Android, or a tablet like this, and make it so much easier. We'll show you that in the video. And that way you could pretty much tap on stations and write them an APRS message. You can look at the map and see where that person is that's beaconing their position every 15 seconds or 5 minutes and see where they're at, rather than trying to figure out, okay, well, my GPS says it's 100 miles away and he's north, but that's about it. And unless you know coordinates off the top of your head, it really brings out. Now, again, that's if you have one of these. Let's say you have a $30 UV5R, okay? If you don't know what that is, look in the description. If you find on Amazon a $20 or $30 handheld, it will work with this, given that you have the right cable to connect it. So what I have, let's see, two? Okay. What I have, Mobilinkd makes all these cables, okay? And this is for the FT2DR. I also have cables for the 817 I used to have, an ICOM 706, and one more cable. Oh, for a Bofung or Kenwood, the same cable. I have to find those. This is the only one I know where it's at. So basically, one into the TNC, one into the speaker mic jack on your radio. A little bit of configuring on the app, and everything that comes in on RF from this radio, APRS packets, that's all, you know, messages and coordinates and display on here, goes through Bluetooth to your phone and turns into a plot on a map. Much easier. Now also, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I could say this. In the past, the Mobilinkd TNC1, when I first got that, and the 2, I showed videos on using it with VHF and UHF packet, even on HF with my 7100. And I said, you know, this is, you could use this to send an email over VHF. That video is out there on how to do that. And the developer, Rob, emailed me back then and said, hey, glad you made a video on one of our products, but you know, just be careful, because we didn't anticipate or create this originally for packet. We created it for APRS. Therefore, when you tell people it's usable for packet, we don't offer support for that, because there's a lot of different configurations. Well, the TNC3 now is really tailored and upgraded and tweaked for APRS and packet. So there's no longer having to figure out you know, how to tweak the buffer size to make it work when it shouldn't, you know? So again, iOS improvements, improvements on the configuration for the audio levels for different radios, a wider range of radios, and increased functionality for packet. So it's a winner. And what I'm going to do with this is the 3 is going back in my vehicle, or in my vehicle, to replace the 2. The 2 is going to stay back in my Go kit for WinLink out in the field. But the 3 is going to work with my radio here on APRS, so that I can have, with my Storm Season and Skywarn spotter, I could use this tablet. Oh, that's a horrible looking face. Look at that. Hello. I could use this tablet on my dashboard with a suction cup mount or whatever kind of mount, and have all that APRS stuff going. When there's a storm coming, I can see everything on the map, you know. I want to type a message, I could tap on it, use the keyboard, type a message, hit send. A lot easier. That's what I'm going to do with it. This 3 will be in my vehicle with that, and the 2 will be in my Go kit, and I'll try to show you a little bit of each one. You know, I've already shown you a video on how to do WinLink with this, so I'll stick to really the product the number 3 here and configuring it, what options you have. And again, you can look back at my channel and find those videos on Winlink and the previous versions. But let me show you what a TNC looked like 30 years ago and why this is really kind of genuine in its form. Now, I picked this up at Orlando Hamcation in February 2019, and this is actually a little bit different. This is a pack rat, and this is for packet, for Winlink, for different HF modes. For you could use this for a lot of different things. For a BBS, you could store messages on here in the mailbox. But look at something like this without Bluetooth from 30 years ago, and then try to figure out how you're going to wire it into your radio. Now, I want to learn how to use this. I bought this for $20 from a friend, and I said, I got a couple of ideas for this, and I'll show you in later videos. That's why you got to subscribe. But until then, I need to figure out how to wire this thing in, man. I don't even know what to do with a 25-pin cable anymore for RS-232 or the Scope FSK thing. So it makes it a lot easier to have something like this connected, and away you go. Everybody's got an iPhone. Everybody's got a Android. This is the RFinder box chip here. So I'll show you the config app and how it works. I do remember before this came out, the reason this impressed me so much when it came out, we're talking 6 years ago, when the Bofeng first hit the market. There was a easy digi interface on eBay by a ham that was making a little tiny little board, and you soldered your own wires on and you connected it to your radio. And I actually used that for a packet over at Bofeng, but it was terribly hard to use because you never got the audio levels right. You never knew what kind of audio was going in, what was coming back out, and it was just a mess with isolation transformers and all that. This kind of summed it up when it came out in the version 1. So it can be done other ways. You don't have to buy this. You don't have to rush out and buy this. But for those who are preppers, for those who are into Skywarn, for those who are into Packet, for those who are into BBMS, BBMS or BBS, Bulletin Board System, Winlink, or other things like that, or experimental, check out the TNC here by Mobilinkd. So let's look at the app and see what configuration parameters to set this thing up. Okay, so I got this unit on, and you open the app for the you scan the little card there. Where was the card here? You can either go to the App Store and search it or scan it. Open the app, and you'll see your devices that are listed here in Bluetooth. So you tap on it, connect to TNC, yes. Okay, now it's connected. You should get a little double blue light blink on here. Yeah, that's how the old one was. Kind of shows you you're connected. Now in here, we'll just go over this briefly because every situation may be different. You're basically setting your audio input and output levels here. You're going to want your radio unsquelched so that you can see the audio level here and adjust it so that you're not overdriving this and so that this is not overdriving your radio. So this is your audio input level and your audio output level, okay? Also your power settings. So there's the battery indicator there. Over halfway charged, but I recommend charging this all the way before you get it. That's just what I've always done. I've never had an issue with anything, even e-cigarettes or handhelds. I charge it all the way when I get it, and then I use it all the way up. And people say, you don't have to do that anymore with these new batteries, but I just do it and never fails. Also, KISS parameters. So this was one thing in the original one that you had to mess with to get it to work with certain radios. The only thing I really had to mess with in the past was the transmit delay, because some older or some Bofeng or Chinese handhelds, when they go into transmit, it's like a half a second before the audio actually passes through. So I would put a delay on here so when it keys that radio, there's enough time it doesn't cut off the front of the APRS message. Full duplex and whatever else, you can set that. And TNC information. One good thing about this that I've seen over the last few years is they do support firmware updates. So if they have a Facebook page, you can go look at their group, Mobilinkd for Facebook, Mobilinkd, and join their Facebook group. And people chat about, new devices, or hey, I'm hooking it up to this, or I got this feature I want to add, or can you help me? I have this issue. And if there's a mass issue, they'll make a firmware update and correct that. So it's pretty neat that they have really good customer service and communicating with them. So that's really all you'd have in the config app. Now that's just to configure the device. Now let's look at APRS Droid and see what it looks like on the Droid app itself. APRS Droid is available in the App Store. It's like $4.95, and there's ways to get it for free if you're really that cheap, but support the creator for making this available. Just give them the $4.95. Come on. Anyways, APRS Droid. So without going full into the details of this app, I'll just give you an example. We haven't done anything with it. I'll go up to Preferences, and first we put in our call sign and the SSID. I'm going to go to Connection Protocol or Connection Preferences and make sure that it's set to TNC, not Internet, just TNC. And then the connection type is Bluetooth. That's what you're using, a Bluetooth TNC. And the Bluetooth device, you choose it from the list here, TNC Mobilinkd. That should be it. After that, you go back to the map here and start tracking. Now what it'll do is it starts the connection between this. You can see now it's got a green light on here. It means it's connected. And it's really listening. I don't have it plugged in yet. It's listening on the radio for APRS activities. So essentially your radio would be set to 144.390 in the US or 144. What's the other one? 800 for the South America and Europe and all that. You set it to the APRS frequency, and every beacon that comes in to the radio that hits this shows up on your screen. Okay, now you'll have a list on here of different stations that are popping in, but then you could also go up and go to Show Map, and then it would show you a map of here of where you're at. And I know the GPS on my stupid phone here is not cooperating lately, so it doesn't know where I am. Okay, so it doesn't give me a pin, but we'll go like that, Vero Beach. Now it would show me on here in real time as the APRS comes in, it pops up on the map. And then I could tap on the little station there and get options like send message, query who is, look up on QRZ. APRS, you don't realize it, man. There's a lot of stations out there using this. And look on my video on YouTube on APRS. I show all about it. It's really something every ham should be educated on and know, because, and now remember this. I know right now there's people watching screaming at the monitor saying, what happens when everything goes down? Well, this is not using cellular. You're using a device here, but all you need from your device is a GPS. The GPS for the Mobilinkd comes out of your device. Okay, almost every Android has a device on it, a GPS in it. So you can turn off the cellular, pull the SIM card out, and this is still going to work because it's using the RF coming in from your radio to display what's on here. It's basically decoding your APRS traffic onto a map. Now see, look, it put me on here. So it beaconed me. If anybody else was looking at APRS and I had my radio connected, you see right here, KJ4YZI-7. Okay? So it's popping me in there. And then when you tap on that, it would give you an option, see? It would show me the station information, any messages, and then it would show me APRS.fi. I can click it there, take me to the link or map, or up here, external map. Let's see, there's a way to send a message on here. There it is. Station info, messages, okay? You can get all that. So if I went to messages here, I could, type a message. Hi. Hit OK, and boom, that would send out over RF. Okay, it's a lot easier than doing it on a handheld like this, trust me. And it's impossible to do it with a Bofeng because there's no user interface like that on a Bofeng or Ushan or Baofeng or whatever you want to call it. So you can see this gives you a little bit more APRS. I mean, I would like this thing to really take over by storm and get everybody involved in APRS because it's so fun when you're out there on a map driving or communicating or whatever, and you see someone and you see, wow, someone's beaconing and they're 10 miles south of me on 95. And you can click on there and send them a message if they're really active and say, hey, you up for simplex? I'm on 14652. Boom, you just connected with somebody. But I will tell you, when people really scream to have something like this is when there's a natural disaster, because you have the weather service people on here, you got Red Cross, and you got hams that are activated for ARES and everything, and they're putting their little stuff right here, The grid fell out, the zombies came and ate your face, and here's where all the supplies are. You're going to want something like that. But right now, because it's a fun thing, everybody wants to treat the hobby like, oh, no, we don't need fun. This is a natural disaster. No, we don't need to wait for the world to crumble and an apocalypse to happen. Have fun with it, man. It's a hobby. Have fun meeting new people and showing others, hey, look, APRS, we can stay in communication when we're traveling or hiking or whatever. That's what this is about. When it's fun to have something like this. When the fan, then it's real important to have something like this, right? So either way, hope that made sense to you. But enough of the rant. The Mobilinkd, I have enough videos online to support this product already of how it was evolved. So this is just an update. If you're new to it, go back to my videos, look up the Mobilinkd, check it out, see how I used it for APRS, how I used it for WinLink on my ICOM 706, I think I did, or my Yaesu, and my ICOM 7100, how I used it. And it just gives you ideas on what this thing will really do. And maybe if I get a hair up my butt in the next couple weeks, I will have this thing running, and maybe I'll beacon when I'm at field day in Vero Beach, W4OT field day. I'll have this thing running out of my Go kit, and at least you guys can see and send me messages on band openings and reports. Who knows? Check out Mobilinkd, and make sure you subscribe so you can check out videos that I have of stuff like this. 7-3 from KJ4YZI.